Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for Daily Death and Taxes. This week is sponsored by Nathan L., who put together this deck list and had some pretty good runs with it, so we're going to give it a try. Excuse me. So essentially this is a Leon and Arbiter based version of Death and Taxes, which is playing Ghost Quarter over Rishadenport to have additional synergy with Arbiter. There's not a lot of things that aren't normally present in D&T deck lists, but the things that are absent are kind of notable. So this version is a little heavier on mana denial with Leonin Arbiter and Thalia Heretic Cathar, and so since you're playing Leonin Arbiters, you don't see things like Stoneforge Mystics and Recruiters in this main deck here. We have some Crusaders in the sideboard to bring in for sort of like the various like Bug and Rug and Grixis type matchups. We have a decent amount of combo hate, in particular a few Pithing Needles for Okos to supplement the normal Council Judgments. The deck list is interesting. We have a lot of 2-drops, so in a vacuum, our Vial is often going to stay on 2 rather than ticking up to 3. And we're just going to kind of jump directly into matches today. This is similar to other D&T deck lists that I have played on channel recently, so I didn't feel the need to like make an extended deck tech video on this one. Hope you all are doing well this week, and hope to have a better week of daily D&T than last week. Last week was pretty brutal. I did not play much Magic. I'm still playing a lot of Monster Train. That game's great. Got about like just about the next 2 weeks worth of Monster Train videos recorded, which gives me a nice buffer to just kind of like do some Magic streaming this week. Didn't stream much Magic last week due to like Latin Academy being in full swing. Yeah, full swing because it's being done digitally, and that is what it is. I've lost the die roll to start things off with. I have what I consider to be an unimpressive hand, but if I viewed this as a 6-card hand, I would be relatively happy with it. We have some degree of utility here for various things. The second vial is kind of nice in that, like, if the first one gets, like, dazed, since we're on the draw, I still have some agency. If the Ghost Quarter is Wasteland, this hand is probably good, and if the Ghost Quarter is not Wasteland, this hand is probably bad. Opponent apparently has a tough mulligan decision. They have ultimately mulliganed. I will keep. So, like, we can choose a win, maybe if our opponent is on a slow graveyard-based hand. Otherwise, we're hoping to, like, why move to your second main phase on turn 1 in order to do this? Okay. We're staring down at turn 1 Sylvan Library when I don't have any pressure. That sucks. And trying to just, like, Ghost Quarter hope this is their only basic or something like that is probably not profitable. I think I need to get my Ether Vial online. I would say I am very much not favored to win this match at this time. Like the Ghost Quarter is very poor in the face of Sylvan Library and also in the face of Life from the Loam. And also like maybe Knight of the Reliquary. The easiest way for us to steal a win is our opponent getting too aggressive with their Sylvan Library and me just needing to like attack them 2 times to finish them off. Yeah, there's the Life from the Loam. They have Blast Zone to take out my Vials. My Ghost Quarters have been invalidated. I don't get to pressure their life total with this Remorseful Cleric. I have to nug this Life from the Loam. Yeah, very, very bad position. Let's see if we get blown out by a cycling land as well. I guess for that reason, it's better to go to their turn. No difference unless they have a cycling triome. The thing that sucks here is they can just like Sylvan Library and dig for another. Um, Very reliant on the top of my library here. I have Swords to Plowshares for the first night or Bob. I hate how close to decided this game was on turn 1 when my opponent just played turn 1 Sylvan Library. Really frustrating. Yep. Don't get to put the mom there because Blaststone does Blaststone things. I guess the pressure of the Flicker Wisp is quite important here. Like, I need to get some aggressive hits in on their creatures. So I can try to blow up this Mox here, and then hope they don't have either Life from the Loam or Punishing Fire, so that I can realistically do some damage. It's kind of a big hope, though. Well, um, that's going to be quite good against me. Very good with their Sylvan Library. How many basics do they have is a very important question. I believe that I am going to double Ghost Quarter them this turn and kill Mox Diamond, with Revoker. One basic land. Oh wow, I get to cheese this win. Well, I really appreciate my opponent not having a second land and missing on Punishing Fire and Life from the Loam. They get some mana from Klothys. But if they take mana from Klothys, they're not taking life. Um, Punishing Fire this turn is still quite good. But missing, like, a removal spell this turn is probably pretty bad. They have to have something relevant, because they paid life. Azavith is a nuisance. My Ancient Tomb doesn't do much here. My opponent doesn't get any cards out of Sylvan Library anymore. Now it's just card selection. But card selection alone is very good when they can just gain life. Again, the Sylvan Library just doing absolutely insane amounts of work here. I only get 1 damage a turn. They can heal all of that back via Klothys. Klothys is not going to get animated, so I can't remove it with Swords to Plowshares. I have to just keep attacking. It opens me up to things, but I I can't let my opponent pull further ahead, unfortunately. Leon and Arbiter to stop searching is great. Provoker to cut off Mox Diamond mana is okay. A Wasteland for Maze of Ith is pretty ideal. You're leaving this at 2 for probably the rest of the match. At least my opponent doesn't get to gain life anymore with Clothis. But like 7 turns with looking for Sylvan Library, looking with Sylvan Library, they shouldn't have any trouble finding something. Like a Punishing Fire, an Abrupt Decay, another Maze, the combo. Oh wait, it's not just creatures. Okay, they can keep gaining life. Disastrous then. I wonder if this is a turn where like I don't attack with to push the 1 point of damage and I instead just like put in a Thalia on their turn. That feels correct to me now that I have the second creature. I'll do it on their draw step after they've made Sylvan Library decision. Okay, that is currently the last non-land card in graveyards. I'm probably just going to win this match by timeout at the rate that my opponent is playing. This is game 1 and I'm already up 5 minutes. That's very good. That's very good. That stops like Abrupt Decay, Punishing Fire, Life from the Loam. Get another Maze, presumably. You have a Caracas. I don't care. I can do this Thalia song and dance and treat it like a very awkward Rishadan port for the rest of the game and be totally fine with that. Now I don't really need to worry about removal. Because like I would be expecting Abrupt Decay or Punishing Fire. That means that Mom can attack. Yep. Gonna attempt to combo off here. This costs you 2 lands. I give you a bunch of life. You take 3 damage. I redeploy a vial, and I hard cast this Thalia. That way I can put it back in if they bounce it on their turn. They can draw a bunch of cards with Sylvan Library, which I'm not sure if they realized, given that they didn't draw any cards. Seems like you need to very aggressively pay down some of that. Like, you just need to get to something that can win you the game. Game isn't really exciting. And still quite surprised that opponent is not paying more life with Sylvan Library to actually get to us, like, to get to cards that matter. Oh, this is the point where they've just given up. They're just going to try to catch up on a couple seconds of clock. Yep, that is exactly what's happening. Oh shit, I'm at 2 life because of Clothis. JK. I didn't realize the problem. Okay, well. I was so focused on the life gain side of the equation that I didn't just take into account that it was turn 14 and that had been going forever. Okay, that is what it is. Still in library, just won the game, kinda as expected. I guess that's why opponent wasn't digging aggressively. Why do I have Fairy in my deck if I can't tutor for it? So I want to sub some Swords of Plowshares for Path to Exiles for Merit Lodge reasons. I want answers to enchantments that my opponent plays. I want answers to problematic lands. Question is, like, do I bring in Fairy as well? It's much, much, much worse than Rest in Peace here. Or much worse than Surgical here. But maybe I still need it. Dahlias probably seem like the weakest link here in the stuff that's remaining. And there's going to be a lot of hands where getting to 4 for Palace Jailer is problematic. That would still mean that I would need to cut one more card. I think I'll trim one Revoker. This leaves me at 22 effective creatures, kind of 24 due to Vile. It's unkeepable. This hand is not good. Like I don't provide pressure. I have a late game answer to a Maritage. And this early is not maybe amazing. But I don't think I get to go to 5. I have a large number of 2-drops to draw, less than in game 1, though, because I boarded Thalia's out. I think I hold back this Mom and don't push 1 this turn. Hopefully my opponent kept a hand that was like all in on just like turn 2 produce Maritage. That's kind of the hope here. Because if they have a decent amount of agency, I don't think I can win. God damn it. Alright. At least opponent played badly and let me untap so that I can have to exile my own mom if I need to. I won't now that I drew a Flicker Wisp. And that's frustrating. What the fuck are you doing? Now I name Blast Zone. Oh, okay, you just have it all. Doesn't actually win you the game, though. I chump block with Flicker Wisp this turn and Path to Exile that Maritage. You just have Sajiri Step 2. Or the Punishing Fire. No. Well, all in all, that's extremely fucking frustrating. I'm going to Path to Exile first. There's worlds where I somehow end up stopping them from producing the second one of these. Without using Swords to Plowshares to aggro them out. Like, say, if I draw another Flicker Wisp. The dead card right now. Now the hope is they make their next Merit Lodge on their main phase for some reason so that I can Council's Judgment it away. And I'm dead. That's really frustrating. Like, opponent made... you know what? We're moving on.